Welcome to Commander's Comments. I'm your producer for the evening, Harrison Daws, and allow me to introduce your Commander in Chief, Walter D. Donnie Kennedy.
Greetings, fellow Confederates. It's always good to be with you on Commander's Comment. We've got a few little items here we're going to discuss tonight. But first of all, what I want to say, thank you for joining me, Paul Graham from South Carolina, our Chief of Heritage Operation. And thank you, Harrison Daws, for joining us, our Deputy Chief of Heritage Operation and #1 DJ in the Confederacy. So we appreciate you so much. So we've got a few items we want to discuss tonight, and I hope everybody is really happy with what came out on the election, whichever way that it went. I hope you're happy with it. I'm happy because my inbox will no longer be filled with people asking me to vote for them. Because most of the time I've already made up my mind, and I get so many requests. Sometimes I think, well, I'm not going to vote with you because you're just filling up my inbox. So I know most people are happy that's over with. So I hope everything turns out well. We wish President-elect Donald Trump well. We also want to congratulate the Democratic candidate for a campaign that she ran. So everybody is congratulated. It's part of our system. As everyone knows, we are a non-political, tax-exempt organization. We do not endorse nor condemn any political party or any candidate. But we have every right as citizens of this country and member of this organization to promote our people to get out and vote. So I'm glad that everything in the election season, it looks like it's over. They've got a few more, it looks like, representatives to settle out in the House of Representatives. Looks like the conservative element is going to control the Senate. So it's going to be some interesting times. And I'm telling you, every time you have a change in guards in Washington, that gives us an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to push our agenda, to promote who we are, why we are proud of who we are, and why our friends and neighbors in the South and throughout these United States should be proud of their heritage as Americans and as Southerners. Now, we want to discuss a few things, but I think the first thing I want to do is let's talk a little bit about the disaster relief effort. That's still an ongoing project. And first and foremost, I want to thank our membership. Fellas, we've got membership roughly between 26 and 30,000 members. Depends on who you count, when you count them. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of our heart. And I know the people in the disaster areas are thanking you for, #1, your financial support. We've got a lot of people financially that have put up a lot of money, sent in donations, anywhere from $5 to $5,000 to the Disaster Relief Fund. And the National SCV has provided the 6 states from Florida, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and Tennessee with extra funds through our Disaster Relief Fund to assist their people in their locale to be able to have some relief. As many of y'all probably noticed, before government ever showed up, state or federal, we had a lot of people, volunteer organization, whether it was Billy Graham's group. What is the name of that group? Something Purse. Paul, you remember? I'll think of it in a minute. It's Billy Graham's disaster relief group, and they showed up early. Our people, SCV people in South Carolina, in North Carolina, in Virginia, in Tennessee, they jumped on it and started sending truckloads of disaster relief items into those areas. This shows the world that we love our people, and we're not just a bunch of old people that's sitting around rubbing bones of our ancestors and talking about the Civil War. No, we are here, we're now, and we're working for our people. And we are a benevolent organization. And the benevolence is really showed itself through this disaster in these two hurricanes. Now, I want to remind everyone, if you are impacted, if you're an SCV member and you are impacted directly by these storms or any other, if it may be a tornado out in Oklahoma, if you are impacted by that, you can apply for disaster relief from the SCV. Now, we can't give thousands of dollars, but we can give what we can give. Now, the way you do that is, let's just say, Paul here, he's in South Carolina and a tornado hits his house. And Paul said, I can't work right now. I need a little bit of help. So he will contact his division commanders. I believe that's Commander Smith. Is that right? Is that right, Paul? Commander Smith? Okay. And contact him, say, hey, I need some relief. Can you fill out a form? And he will fill out the form. And have to get Paul's name, address, camp, and etc. And then he will send it in to the disaster relief committee, who will look at it and approve it and pass it on to headquarters. Headquarters will cut a check and get it to Paul. So that's how that system works. You cannot call, Paul cannot call headquarters and say, I need some money. Can't do it. But he can get a hold of his division commander. His division commander has a form to fill out. Fill out that form, get it to the chairman of the disaster relief committee. And if you have any question about that, you can go to our website, scb.org, pull up the tab that's talking about committees, and see who is the chairman of that committee and how to contact them. And then the commander can send it right on in, and he will get things flowing. So I just want everyone to know that that is available. And I am very proud of what's going on. Paul or Moose, do y'all have any further information about what's going on in your area on disaster relief?
I think, the only person I've talked to is Jamie Graham, who's over the Army of Northern Tennessee, and he's been nonstop since the day after the storm, working like something I've never seen before.
Great.
And he's, of course, the division commanders are involved in that as well, and they've really gone up into the mountains and tried to do their very best. That is great. It's a nasty scene. The destruction is almost unthinkable, and nobody has even talked about them. So we're fortunate to have people like Jamie Graham and others.
Absolutely.
No relation on this continent. I'd claim him. I don't know if he claimed me, but I'd claim him.
There you go. Well, I know that I've seen a lot on Facebook where pictures of the people in South Carolina and some in Florida, some in North Carolina, the trailer loads of supplies that have been collected and sent in. I know when we were at the GEC meeting, I took my car loaded down with disaster supplies that we put in the trailer there at headquarters that was sent on up to the people for, and these supplies went to anybody that needed help up there. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm just give a shout out to those folks, because they're a special group of hardy people. Do you know that the last thing I've heard on the voting turnout in that area was as high, if not higher, than any time during the presidential election? I think those people saw that big government is just not doing what it should be doing. And we had volunteers. I mean, it was volunteers from all over the country, but especially with the SCV, with our trailers going up there and our financial aid, that was really great. So I want to just say thank you for all of our membership for their effort there. And let's keep up the good work. Now, remember, tornado season is not over. Winter's coming along. There will be other things coming up where we'll have to do some relief effort, unfortunately. So if you've got a chance to throw in $5 or $10 on, you just go on the website and make a little donation. Go right ahead. And that's the good thing about it with 25 to 30,000 members. If all you got to do $5, $10, and all of a sudden you've got a good bit of money to help people out. And as I say, we're just more than happy to do that. So another thing that I want to get to right quick is the get out the vote effort. I just want to thank everybody for their efforts there. We had, I think, I can't remember exactly how many, but it was at least a dozen, 10 to 12 southern states where we had SCV camps and division that were buying these 30-second ads and running the ads to get out the vote. Now, again, let me reiterate what I said. Well, I hate to be redundant, but I'm not going to be redundant. I'm just going to repeat myself. How about that? So we do not endorse, nor do we condemn any political party. We do not endorse a candidate. We don't say do not vote for this guy. What we do is tell Americans that we are the Sons of Confederate. And if you listen to our ad, it's simple. We're the Sons of Confederate Veterans, America's oldest continuously operating veterans organization, and we're encouraging our fellow citizens to get out and vote. Our republic depends upon participation by you, the citizens. So the Sons of Confederate Veterans are encouraging you to get out and vote. And looking throughout these states where these ads were ran, I see that the vote tally was really, really going up. Now, we can't take credit for all of it, but we were a small part. Now, here's the interesting thing. Yes, we just told people to go vote, but who all heard that? John Q. Public may have never heard of the Sons of Confederate Veterans until he heard that ad. So now if you're in, let's say in Moose's part of Mississippi, and you never heard of the SCV, but you got your radio on, and all of a sudden you hear an ad by the Sons of Confederate Veterans, they're telling me to get out and vote. All of a sudden I'm saying, hey, that's a pretty good group of people there. I got to investigate this. When Moose sees them at a gun show or at a civic event where he's trying to get people to join the SCV, it's going to be a lot easier for Moose to come up to that person and say, hey, look, we're the Sons of Confederate Veterans. The guy says, oh, yeah, I've heard of y'all. He might not even remember where and when he heard, but he will have heard about you. It's almost like when I was growing up in Mississippi, before we planted the ground, we had to cultivate the ground. We had to break the ground. We had to fertilize the ground. Then you plant the seed. Too many times in the SCV, we've just tried to, almost like a cold sale, knock on the door and say, hey, do you want to join the SCV? They never heard of us. So these type of ads really get our name and who we are out in front of the general public. And thank you, Harrison Daws, for your video. The video that we also coupled with that ad that went on social media, that went all over social media for a while. It also helps to get our name out to a bunch of people. Paul, tell me a little bit about social media. Is that not a good way for us to spread our name?
Yes, it is. We didn't have a whole lot of time to plan for this one. We did get an email out, and really, it wouldn't take much. It doesn't cost anything to post something to your social media account. And I'm working on several Confederate Legion social media sites. But anyway, you get it out there, you encourage other people to share it, and it gets traction. And
absolutely.
And I would think that in upcoming campaigns we can do a little better in organization. And I'd like to see a band of keyboard gorillas doing this irregular political keyboard gorillas. I came up with that this week.
Yes.
Yeah. But
I think
because the more people who post it, and the more people that share it, the farther it goes. And my in my other life, we do add post all the time that I know that are not going to be allowed to be ads, but there are a lot of groups out there who are certainly willing to share things around that have a huge followings. I know I sent it out through my business, and several people picked it up.
Good.
And ended up on Dixie
and that's so very that's so very important, because we're getting the message out beyond our people. Now, I'm going to tell you why this is so important. We're talking about the get out the vote ad, or something. In a little bit, we're going to talk a little bit about some of our Confederate Legion ads that we're going to be pushing and running. But it helps because the political establishment will hear these things. And when they learn that we are active in the community, that will help us to, number one, prevent problems from happening, and number two, to correct problems. Let me give you a quick example. A little while ago, it must have been about a month or two ago, I was up in Liberty, Missouri, up at Clay County, Missouri, at a courthouse for a meeting on an attempted removal of a Confederate monument. We went into that court and were prepared to do the struggle and get everything taken care of. It was obvious to me, now this is my opinion, just sitting in the court and listening to what was going on and how the judge treated and questioned and really just more or less gave us the bum's rush. In my opinion, this is my opinion now, personal opinion, he gave us the bum's rush and put us off till another date. And I think he was just trying to get us to give up the fight. And I left there wondering, wait a minute, this is Clay County, Missouri. Missouri is not a woke state. We're not talking about New Jersey here. We're talking about Missouri. So I went back and looked at Missouri. Do you realize Missouri has 115 counties? In the last election, not this election, but the previous election, only 2 counties voted for the liberal candidate. Everybody else voted for the conservative candidate, including the people of Clay County, where this woke, what I consider to be a woke judge. And again, that's my opinion. It's not the SCB stating that. It was just my opinion, the feeling I had leaving there. All around, I think Clay County went 52% for the conservative candidate. All the counties around Clay County went like 64% for the conservative candidate. So these people in that area, they're not people who are eager to carry water for the neo-Marxists and the woke people who are destroying traditional American values. That means that we've got the people on our side. We've just got to be sure that those people know who we are, what we're doing, and we can put the fear of the good Lord in all these elected officials who are so eager to suck up to the liberal establishment. So I just want to pass that along as one reason why we keep pushing this idea about getting our message out. It's something that needs to be done. Now, here's another thing. I'm sorry, I've got a list here, and I keep looking at my clock, and I see that the way I'm talking, we're going to run out of time. Anyway, recently I got a contact by a member who was upset because he didn't feel like he was getting the response from headquarters that he was wanting. It was taking too long. He was being put off and this, that, and the other. All right, let me tell you what's going on. We, the Sons of Confederate Veterans, we have a multi-million-dollar organization. Multi-million-dollar organization. We have between 26 and 30,000 members, for which we have four full-time employees. When I speak to executive directors of other organizations and groups in my professional career that I've been associated with, when they hear that we have only 4 full-time employees for an organization this big, they can't believe it. And so how do you operate? And I tell them real simple, on a shoestring. That's how we operate. So, I'm saying this not just to say, don't worry about if you don't get quick response, but please understand what's going on. Now, somebody said, well, why don't we hire more help? I said, that is an excellent idea. And as soon as we pay this banknote off, here comes the 21st century Confederate heroes, folks. As soon as we get this banknote paid off, we can hire more people. We're paying anywhere from $9,000 to $13,000 a month servicing that banknote. And this is one of the reasons why I have been so doggedly pushing this concept of the 21st century Confederate heroes, the whole idea of getting that banknote paid off. When we do that, we can hire more help. We can, not only that, folks, we can keep that museum open on Saturdays, every Saturday, not just once a month, maybe. That is how we can have an impact. And plus, we can put General Forrest back in his plaza, and we can have the SCV can have national attention drawn to itself if we do that. We can do that. And we can also use that money to start buying different type of media ads that promotes the Sons of Confederate Veterans, that let the world know who we are. We cannot be a well-kept secret and correctly defend our heritage. So I was just letting you know what's going on. As I said, when I tell people about the size of our organization, the valuation of our organization, the number of members that we have, and that we only have 4 full-time employees. Now, we do have a few part-time employees, but really 4 people, that just really does not cut it. We've got to get better than that, and that is why we're pushing this 21st century Confederate heroes. Now, one thing about it, if every SCV camp would consider and would join this 21st century Confederate heroes, we could end up with it before the end of the year. We could have that banknote paid off. If we have over 800 SCV camps, and we could just about have that, what we've already paid off, I think we could pay that off. We could have the money to put Forrest back in his plaza, and we can hire some people so that come springtime, that museum, we can advertise that museum all around the world, all around the nation, and have it open on Saturdays, and we can really do what we need to do. So that is one of the things that we're really talking about doing. So right quick, before I forget it, and Adam jumps all over me, let me right quick go over some of the things, the schedule of events for the Southern Heritage Center. Now, the Southern Heritage Center is our museum, Elm Springs, and the grounds around Elm Springs, okay? On November the 16th in Columbia, John C. Perry, an author, will be doing a reading from one of his books. He has done a lot of work on Mrs. Robert E. Lee, the Lady of Arlington, and Lee, Goodness in Action is 2 of his books, and he will be doing readings from his book at I believe at the museum or at Elm Springs. That's November the 16th. That's on a Saturday. Obviously, the museum and grounds will be open. Friday and Saturday, December the 6th and 7th, the Maury County Christmas Historic Tour of Homes will be going on. If you have not gone through these tour of homes, by all means go. I've gone twice. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. You learn a lot, and it is really interesting. And of course, Elm Springs is one of the homes that's on that tour. And guess what? We get a lot of people who have never heard of the SCV who comes to Elm Springs comes to the Southern Heritage Center, and they are really impressed with what they see. Just think what it's going to look like next year when General Forrest is on his pedestal and that plaza has been rebuilt. Just think, folks, what it's going to be like. So that's one of the things we can do. And listen, Christmas is coming up. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but it's almost November, or is it November?
It's November.
We're getting, it is indeed. That's right, because I remember the goblins have already gone by here. We're looking at Thanksgiving and then Christmas. Think about, if you want to buy some gifts, go to the SCV store and look there for some gifts. I bought some really great gifts there for my friends and family. And y'all can do the same. Remember, if you spend money with the SCV on the SCV store, that goes to continually building our organization. Now, you can either go to the gift shop at in Columbia, Tennessee, at our headquarters, or you can do like I do, go to scv.org. Then you can look at under there and go to, I believe it's go to the home thing, go past about membership and look for shop right across the top. scv.home. It's a home, about, membership, resources, contact, then over to the far right it says shop. Hit that shop button and you'll drop down a menu, and you can do some browsing of gifts, and they've got a whole line of gifts there. Some of those they've even got some books there by Shotwell Publishing Company. My goodness gracious.
They're probably by the Kennedys. I think they're probably
well, some of those, but they got some real authors also in there too. So anyway, I'm encouraging folks to think about stocking stuffers and things of that nature, books and all kind of items. I've got throws, different type of throws there, and it's a good place to shop to get some stuff.
I got this lovely coffee cup there.
Look at that. There you go. You've got, and here's one thing. Can you hold that cup up, Paul? Just gotta hold it still for a second. All right. You'll notice it's got the SCV logo, our secondary logo. Now, thank you, Paul. A lot of people say, well, I want the one with the real SCV logo. If you are a member, you can have one. But we do not sell to non-members anything with our logo. That is a trademark that's specifically for SCV members. So there are people who come into our gift shop who are not members. Well, we want them to buy stuff and have something that says Sons of Confederate Veterans. So we have this logo also. It's the secondary logo. It is not a replacement. I can't say that enough. It is not a replacement for our standard logo as this right here. So don't worry about that, but we cannot sell it to just John Q. Public off the street unless John Q. Public joins the SCV. So anybody that wears something like this logo or have a patch on their car, they are a member of the Sons of Confederate Veterans, or they have stolen their dad's car for the night. So something of that nature. I'm sure Harrison would have never done anything like that in his youth. So Harrison, Never. Are we at the point of a Pop-Tart break, or are we getting close?
We're getting close. You can go on to the next topic if you want to, Commander.
Okay. All right. Good enough. All right. I will be glad to do that. All right. On November the 16th, that is a Saturday at Beauvoir. Now, for all my good compatriots in Mississippi, I'm going to have to apologize. That includes you. The first letter that Ron and I sent out, we were very meticulous, made sure the grammar was correct, everything was correct, except the date. We put the 15th instead of the 16th. Well, you would be surprised that the people in Mississippi, they are indeed literate, because they started saying, why are y'all having this on a Friday when you say it was on Saturday? I said, oops, my mistake. So we quickly the next day sent out letters with the corrected date on it. So so I apologize to my compatriots in Mississippi. I wished I could blame Ron for it, but I am just as responsible because he sent everything to me and said, "They look at it, make sure it's correct." We did it. I said, "Man, that looks good. I'm impressed." Well, I just overlooked the date. So, but anyway, the date is November the 16th. In Beauvoir, we're going to have a Confederate Legion training session. Now, folks, I don't know how to say this, but if we don't train a good cadre of people who know how to use and who are familiar with the tools that we are providing at the national level for us to fight this fight, we will never win. And I'll just give you a quick example. The one-click politic. The one-click politic is a simple way where you can contact your federal or state representative and congressmen and senators. So if there's an issue, a classic example was when the military wanted to change the name of the military bases in across the country, get rid of all the Confederate generals. Now, we sent one click out, and at first we got very little response, but the more the people learn, our people learn how to use it, we began to get some good response. Toward the end of that fight, before we finally had to throw in the towel, we were getting some very good response. Well, one of our problems was not enough people understood how to use that, and they just said, "Oh, I can't do that." It is so simple for Paul Graham to contact his congressman, for Harrison Daws to contact his congressman, for Ron Kennedy to contact his congressman. Over this one click, all you have to do is open it up, put your zip code in it, and if you want to write a message, you can write a little message, or you can just click it. It will populate the address to your congressman, and according to your zip code, and you just click it, and it goes directly to your congressman. Now, that's real simple. Now, just think if during this struggle we'd had thousands upon thousands of Southerners hitting their congressmen and senators saying, "Hey, don't let them change the name on these military bases," we could have changed. We could have stopped them cold, but we didn't. But we're going to change that. We've got to have a training session where this is just one tool. There are other tools that we will be talking about, how to use them and how to be effective in your local community to be a bulwark against the neo-Marxists who are always trying to destroy our society. So by all means, and Paul, do you have some information on the
yes.
Beauvoir event? Would you mind sharing that with us?
No,
right
not
quick?
at all. Not at all. 16th is correct. That's 1 week from this Saturday. It's coming fast. So the cost is minimal. It's $15. You don't have to be a Confederate Legion member to go there, but we're going to work on it that you don't leave there without being one. But you can come if you're an SCB member. The $15 is mostly just to cover the lunch. We're going to talk about recruitment and retention, our goals, which includes doubling the size of the SCB. It's very ambitious, but that's the way you have to do it. Know our membership. There's another session on protecting monuments through the court of public opinion, of course, lunch, how to activate the court of public opinion, and of course, national headquarters massive public relations campaign, which has been the focus of your administration and the previous one, and previous two probably, and it's very important, and that will include all the various outlets that we can appeal to get our message out. So,
and we're hoping to be out.
The handbook will be there. We have a new handbook for the Confederate Legion The Confederate Legion is the action arm of the Sons of Confederate Veterans. These are our guerrilla warfare. These are the people that get on social media, get the ads on the radio, get the billboards up. These are the people that do the things that we need done locally, and we're able to coordinate because the SCV is so big and has so many different things going on. We need a dedicated arm to take our PR campaign to the people, and so that's why the Confederate Legion exists, and that's what we're going to do with it. And I fully expect things to happen over the next few years that the SCV's never seen before.
Correct.
And that's a good thing.
Good. Well, thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. I think we're hoping to have everybody out of there by 3:30 at the latest. So
yes, that's the plan, is to have them out between 3:15, wrap it up.
Yeah. Now, if you have not received a letter or an invitation and you want to know how to register, this is something else that a lot of people say, well, I didn't get any registration form. All you've got to do is just, if nothing else, just call headquarters, or not call, but email headquarters, say, I'm so-and-so, I want to attend the meeting, and just bring your money with you. But let us know. Don't tell us you're coming if you're not, because we're going to try to provide food for everyone. But most letters that we sent letters out to those in the Beauvoir area, Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama, around there. But if you're in Virginia and you want to make it, by all means, this is open to all Confederates. You can be in Oklahoma, you can be in West Virginia. Come on down and learn about what needs to be done and how you can be an effective member. What I'm hoping that in every SCV camp, we will have a cadre of Confederate Legionnaires who are the ones who are saying, okay, we need to promote our heritage here and here and here, and this is how we do it. And they're the ones who stay on top of that. So y'all come on down to Beauvoir. And if you have any questions, if for some reason you say, well, I'm not sure about how to register, you got my email address, email me. I'll get back with you. So, and my email is,
email me. I've got the papers that were sent out, and I'll send you a registration form ASAP.
Good enough. All right, folks. Brother Harrison, I think we need to take a quick break here, and then we'll come back. If you don't mind, I want you to, after the Pop-Tart break, we'll talk a little bit about some of our Confederate Legion counterattacks, and I'd like you to run that ad if you can do that for us.
Yes, sir. Right? And I do want to point out, if you're in the Mississippi Division and in the area around Beauvoir, I probably live less than an hour from you. So if you're having any trouble, Harrison Daws, scv@gmail.com. I am a servant to anybody in the SCV, and I'm probably one of your division officers, so you can definitely call me, and we'll get you situated for this amazing event coming up.
Good.
All right, real quick, this Pop-Tart break is, of course, sponsored by scvchat.com. If you want to watch SCV Chat, get SCV Chat updates, and get news surrounding Southern Heritage and the SCV and other special perks, go to our website. As well as, if you want to support SCV Chat, make sure we stay on the air, get added to our end credit scene, and, of course, get a lot of other great perks. You can join our Patreon, and please also make sure to check out our season sponsor, CreativeCockades.company.site, where you can get historically accurate cockades at a reasonable price. We'll be right back after this Pop-Tart break.
There is a place nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain, surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost, stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
Absolutely beautiful ad. And again, we want to thank this season's sponsors. But since you already asked, I hope you don't mind if I go ahead and jump into it, because I did sneak a peek of a listen to it. And I think y'all have outdone yourself again, Commander.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Yes, I said y'all. As Sons of Confederate Veterans, we point out that several years before the Pilgrims of New England landed in Massachusetts, Virginians had already celebrated the religious holiday of Thanksgiving. Most school children are taught that the Mayflower Compact was the first form of free government in America. But the truth is, before the Pilgrims even boarded the Mayflower, Virginians had already established their free government. These two examples demonstrate how Southern history has been purged from American schools. It warns us to beware about other slanderous, anti-South false histories. Join the Sons of Confederate Veterans and let's set the historical record straight. Learn more at scv.org. That's scv.org. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
Excellent.
Now, I like that. Now, just think now, folks, these type of ads need to be ran all in every community from time to time. I can run this ad at my camp in West Monroe, Louisiana. We can run this ad for a week, say before Thanksgiving. We can have one ad a day. It costs us about $25 a day. So about $125, we can run that ad. That might be the only ad we'll run this year, but we may decide, well, we might run another one later. Remember, that ad will not flood your camp with new members. What it does is informing the citizens out there that there is an organization like the Sons of Confederate Veterans. In this case, they're being taught something they probably never heard of before. What? You mean Thanksgiving got started in the South, not in New England? This is something that lets them know, hey, history is different than what you've been told. And these people in the Sons of Confederate Veterans, we've got this truth. Why don't you come listen to us? Next time that our members are at a gun show or at a civic event, at a yard sale or whatever, we set up a little tent. People come by, they will know who we are. Now, let's go back to Missouri, up to Liberty, Missouri. Just think if these type of ads had been ran in Clay County and the counties around Clay County for the last year, every now and then, if the Get Out the Vote ad had been running. Don't you understand that the elected people like judges and sheriffs and mayors and city councilmen, they will begin to understand if we deal incorrectly with, or if we agitate these Sons of Confederate Veterans people, we're going to have the Confederacy to fight. They will not want to do that. That is how you can, man, how many times have we said this? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. We can prevent these things from happening. When somebody comes up to the city council and say, that monument out there, it offends me. They'll say, well, most of the people are not offended by it, and I'm sorry, you'll just have to get over it. That is how you protect those monuments. Ron just sent me just a few hours ago a map, a county map of the United States of America, red and blue. The red is the conservative voting counties. The blue are the liberal voting counties. Do y'all realize that at least 80, if not 85 to 90% of that territory of the United States is covered in red? In every one of those counties, there's no excuse for anybody to pull down a Confederate monument, because those people believe in traditional American values. If we educate those people, if we motivate those people, and if we activate those people, make them into activists like ourselves, then those monuments are secure forever. Now, in the blue counties, there's going to be a different story there, but it is what it is. But we'll say, if I can save 85 to 90% of them, I'm going to be tickled to death. That's going to be wonderful. But if we don't get active, if we don't put our best foot forward, we're going to get trampled upon. We have been trampled on in the past, and we will continue to be trampled upon. Now, Moose, I'm hoping that Moose could get us a video to go along with that ad on Thanksgiving. If he does, I'm going to try to get that video out to our SCV members, and I want every person in the SCV that has any type of social media, X, Facebook, websites, whatever, put those videos out there and let the world see that the Sons of Confederate Veterans are out there. And we've got some interesting information that most Americans have not heard. So we can really make a difference. So if we can get that, I'm pressuring our DJ here, Harrison, to do this. It's almost on a short notice here, and I'm going to ask for forgiveness. I'm going to ask for, I've been told one time, sometimes it's better to ask forgiveness than to ask permission. So I just put him on the spot here. So if we can get these videos out before Thanksgiving, I really would like to see those out and people hearing about us and who we are and what we're doing. Now, we're going to do some videos on other aspects every 2 months. Now, come July, guess what the July videos are going to be? It's a secession, the 4th of July, America's secession holiday. Now, here's why this is so important, folks. Do y'all know what's coming up year after next? Not 2025, but 2026. I believe that's the 250th anniversary of 1776. 250 years ago, our colonial forefathers proclaimed that the only legitimate government existed by the consent, not the coercion, but the consent of the governed. They also stated in that wonderful document, the Declaration of Independence, that a free people have an unalienable right to alter or to abolish any government that does not meet their desires, and to establish a new government that does fulfill their desires. That is exactly what the colonial forefathers did in 1776. And guess what, America? That is what our Confederate forefathers did in 1861. Let's be sure we have this organization primed to tell the world who are the real defenders of the real America. It's we, the people of the Confederate States of America. We're the real defenders. So let's be sure that we can get this Confederate Legion, our legionnaires organized. We can get things rolling where we can put this out on social media. And in 1776, we're going to have a great time. Now, before I forget it, one other quick thing. Y'all will understand that we have a new president elected, and shortly after he is elected, he will have a State of the Union address. Well, guess what? Going to happen this go around. After he has his State of the Union address, we will release a State of the Confederacy address. For the first time since Appomattox, we will have someone that will say, here is the state of the South. This is what happened to us. This is who we are. This is what we fought for. We believe in constitutional government. And listen, in case you're wondering, because I have people say, oh, you're getting political. Go look at the Sons of Confederate Veterans Constitution in the preamble. I've got it here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it right quick. Here we go. In the SCV Constitution, it announces this, quote, the Sons of Confederate Veterans declare the following purposes: allegiance to the Constitution of the United States of America, largely written and expounded by Southern men, the very Magna Carta of our liberties, a strict construction of all sections confirming power upon the federal government, and the implied and understood reservations to the states arising therefrom, and a general attitude to opposition to further amendments thereof, end quote. That is in the Constitution of the Sons of Confederate Veterans. This is when you join this organization. This is what we believe. So when I'm saying that we're pushing for the idea of strict construction government, I am not saying anything outside of the ordinary. This is what the SCV, our founding fathers of the Sons of Confederate Veterans, who were given this impression and this idea from the United Confederate Veterans, this is what they fought for. And this is what we will continue to fight for. Any questions on that, gentlemen? I hope I didn't preach too much on that. But you know how I feel.
I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait to see it either.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. The State of the Confederacy. All right. Listen, we're running out of time. Listen, we've got Lee Jackson banquets coming up, folks. I'm going to be in Florida in Calvin Hart's camp. Oh, man, I just had a brain freeze there. And in Ocala, Florida, I'll be there. I'm speaking also in Simpson County, Mississippi, and somewhere in North Carolina in January. So I'm in several different places. But here's something that I want every member of the Sons of Confederate Veterans to realize. This meeting, I don't care who you have as your speaker, a Lee Jackson banquet is a wonderful opportunity to tell the local elected officials who we are and why they should be a member of the organization. If you have, let's say you have Paul Graham going to come speak to your camp in Boonfield, Mississippi. Is there a Boonfield, Mississippi? I don't know if there is or not, but it could at the Boone, Mississippi. But anyway, then what you do is you send a letter to your your city mayor, your councilman, your y'all, we call them police jurymen, y'all call in Mississippi we call them county commissioners, your sheriff. Send them an invitation on stationery, on SCV stationery from your camp. Stick that QR code, the QR code for that Walls Could Talk video. If you have any trouble, contact me. I'll tell you, I can send you a copy of it, and you can paste that on your letter to them. And remember, they may not never show up, but they'll see who you are, and they'll look at that QR code, and they'll hear that Walls Could Talk video. They'll understand that this organization, the Sons of Confederate Veterans, is a bigger organization than what I thought. We better not mess with those people. So use every event, Lee Jackson banquet, use that as an excuse to get our name out to the general public. So be sure you do that.
That was my first contact with the SCV. I was invited to the Lee Jackson banquet back in 2004.
How about that? Perfect example. Also, here's something that a lot of your camps, I'm encouraging camps to do several things with our Confederate Veteran magazine. how many of y'all have enough hair to get a haircut? Believe it or not, I had to get a haircut last week. Yeah. Harrison's the only one here that really has to get a haircut.
One third.
But I went to my barbershop. I looked around. There was some magazines there, and I thought, this place needs a Confederate veteran magazine. If you've got a good relationship with your barber, then your camp should buy him a subscription for the Confederate Veteran Magazine. If not, then take your magazine that when you get through and leave it there for other people to see. Or you can call headquarters and get some back issues and leave them at these places. You get your automobile oil and grease job done at a local place. They've got a little waiting room. Leave one there. People will see it. And you'll never know who you will influence in your camp or in your community. If you know of somebody in that community that is a, quote, Civil War buff, buy him, and he's not a member of the SCV, hadn't shown any interest, buy that individual a 1-year subscription to the Confederate Veteran Magazine. Even if he don't join, he'll learn about who we are, and Lord knows who may end up reading that magazine. There are a lot of ways that we can get our name out that we don't have to spend a ton of money. So this is just some of the things that we can do. So I'm encouraging you to look and see if you can find some different ways that we can get our name out. Now, right quick, I want to run this by Harrison. You're the young man here. You're the closest one to have gone to a university or a college. No, you went to Ole Miss. You didn't go to a university. Hey, Harrison,
that's not fair, man.
Growing up, I wanted to go to Ole Miss so bad I could taste it, and I never got a chance to go. So anyway, but that's beside the point. Have either one of you, Paul, have you heard of a guy by the name of Charlie Kurt and Turning Point USA? You know, he's the one that a lot of time will go set up on campus with a sign or something, you know, taxation is theft, prove me wrong, and stuff like that. We need to have a group of young people that is well educated, well spoken, and not argumentative, that will set up on various campuses just like this guy does. You know, I'm sure we'll get kicked off of some, but not all of them. But this is how we can get our message out. And with the new change in administration, I think it's going to be more favorable to more, quote, conservative type of people on campus. I was listening to Moon Griffon here. He has a statewide radio broadcast, very conservative, very pro-South DJ, has a daily program on a 2-hour program before around noon, before noon, just a little before noon. But anyway, he was talking about doing something. He said, now that we've taken in Louisiana, we've taken over the governor and the House and Senate. We've got elected officials at the federal level that will support us. We need to start working on these colleges. We are paying the taxes for them to indoctrinate our children. So we need to do something to correct that problem. And this is something, Moose, that you and some of the young people we need to get with, and let's talk about how we can maybe arrange something like this like this gentleman is doing. What do you think?
I think it's a great idea, mainly because I've done something similar to like that before in the past. Mm-hmm. I think it's very feasible if we get a good group of men together, and I would love to see it happen. I'd love to help make it happen.
Good. Well, let's put that on the agenda. So right quick, we're just about running out of time. I want to go over just quickly the Confederate Legion counterattacks. These are the counterattacks that we have. We have video. We'll soon have videos. We've got radio ads, and we've got hopefully we'll soon have some print ads also for you to download and use. But in January, February, we're doing Confederate diversity, which we cover all ethnic groups. We're not just concentrating on African American. We're doing all, including religious diversity. March, April, we do Confederate veterans or American veterans. In May, June, May, July, we're doing 4th of July, America's Secession Holiday. August, September, the South, Defender of the Constitution. October, November, the real Thanksgiving. And in December, we do Christmas in Dixie. So those are the 6. Every other month, we're doing a counterattack. If your camp can just pick out 1 or 2 of those and buy some ads, or you can buy, we're going to have shortly some print ads that you can take to your local newspaper and run those. That's great. We need to start doing this. Now, the Confederate Legion, as long as we have money coming in, we can assist camps to help you in buying these ads. Now, we will do that. So the main thing is every SCV camp needs to be getting involved in the community, letting the community know who we are, getting involved, doing things locally. Our organization has always been an organization from the bottom up. The leadership, we're just the ribbon wearers. We can't really do much. We can offer advice, we can offer direction, we can say, will you please do this? But in the bottom line is victory will be had because the SCV camps at the local level are getting out in their community and letting the public know who we are, why we are proud of our heritage, and why they should be proud of their heritage. Well, Mr. Harrison, Daws, I think we've used up our time limit, so I'm going to kick it back to you unless Paul has something he needs to say right quick, and we'll just slip on out of here.
Well, y'all come on down to Beauvoir if you can. I'd love to see you there. I'd love to meet you. I'd love to shake your hand. I know everybody feels the same way. We're very approachable. Everyone that I've met who's in the GEC, and I'm new to all this business, so I've got fresh eyes, are very approachable and kind. And let's see what we can do.
Good. Good.
Yes.
Yours, son.
Please come to that event. Again, if you're in Mississippi and you needed help, I'm always happy to help anybody. And of course, if you're not in Mississippi and you just want to reach out to me instead of these 2 great men, I don't understand why, but fine, shoot your shot, I guess. I'll be happy to help you and make sure that you can come to this event because you're going to learn a lot. I'm looking forward to it and can't wait to hear some of the great ideas.
You got to get the handbook. It's going to be awesome.
Yes, sir.
This is top shelf stuff we're working on here.
I've been looking forward to the handbook for a while.
I had my handbook, but I lost it. Yeah, it's an excellent little handbook, and everybody that pays to attend will get a handbook. So come on down.
That handbook, I've been looking forward to it for a while because I love heritage operations. So
Good.
I can't wait myself. I can't wait to hear everybody. Thank you, Chief Graham, and thank you, Commander Kennedy, for a great show. I ask everybody to please share this episode out. Make sure you can send it to SCV camps, people in your brigade, your armies, even if you just want to just go around. So please share it out. Make sure we can get a lot of views here and get all this information out. And make sure you tune in Monday for your weekly episode of SCV Chat at 7 p.m. Confederate Standard Time.
Good.
And with that being said, remember, everybody, just stay Southern. Good night.
Amen. Good night.